Everybody good?
Yep.
Doing your Christmas shopping?
It's all online these days.
Yeah.
There's been some interesting injury situations in your room as well. It's given some guys some opportunities that they didn't have earlier in the year, particularly Josh and Anthony.
Yep.
Just curious how you see their performance in those game and a half after you reviewed the film.
Yeah. So I'll start with Derek. I think Derek has kind of through this whole thing, kind of stepped up in some different areas, and I keep seeing him ascending. So I'm really proud of him. Okay. Josh comes in here, whatever it was, week 3, 4, whenever we signed him. Obviously, I knew Josh. I coached him in Chicago, and I think he's done an unbelievable job of just being engulfed in the game and getting himself to a point where, for a guy who's played a lot of special teams, hadn't played a lot of defense, played for me a little bit last year at the end of the year, and just taking advantage of his opportunities. So I'm really proud of him from that standpoint. I think he's stepped up. And then Pitt, okay, Wayne State guy, okay, small school, has paid his dues here, okay, makes the team, playing special teams. All of a sudden, we have injuries last week, and in the 2-minute situations, he's playing outside linebacker and playing inside during the game. So I was really proud of him. I thought, you talk about guys being pros, being ready when their opportunities come. I was really, really excited about that. So I think I'm kind of proud of all 3 of those guys and doing that. So not perfect. They all know that. We got to keep cleaning stuff up. But I thought they all, the moment wasn't too big for any of them, and I see them stepping up and excited to see them continue to improve.
With Pittman specifically, with inexperienced guys, young guys, a lot of times you'll see just hesitation, unsureness in themselves. It didn't seem like there was a lot of that in those closing minutes last week. What do you attribute that to, and how important, I guess, is confidence and knowing what you're doing to succeeding in this league?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think Pitt's a self-confident guy, but there's no question when you step on that field, you can't hide. So you got to be confident, you got to be ready to play, and Pitt was. So I thought he did a great job, and part of that confidence is preparedness. If you're not prepared, you're not going to be confident. So I think Pitt did a great job of being prepared, and like as you guys know, if you're not a starter, there's not a lot of reps during the week. So your preparedness has to come from the self-motivation and finding that within yourself to get prepared. So I was really proud of those guys. I thought they did a good job putting themselves in that position.
More specifically with Josh,
Yep.
He was the guy that you were with, obviously, in Chicago.
Sure.
So, to what extent did you see the ability to do some of the things that he's doing now early in his career, and how has he developed, I guess, to be able to take on that sort of role?
Sure. So a little context, backstory there. So Josh played safety in college, okay, was in minicamp with Chicago before I got there, okay, as a safety. They decided to make him an inside linebacker. I got there. So everything, to me, he's still a young linebacker, okay? He's still learning. But the growth that I've seen in him over the past 3 years is really good. And I think he's still going to continue to get better the more he plays. He played at the end of the year last year against Green Bay, and then a little bit in the playoff game versus New Orleans. And to me, the way he played the past 2 weeks, I see great growth right there. Okay, so I'm excited about him. I think his future is bright. He already, I think we know what he is as a special teams player. He's very good there, and I think a lot of that carries over. But with Josh, he's a guy who eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Man, he loves it. He's engulfed in the game, and I was really, really happy for him that he had some success. Now I'm excited to see him improve on some things that he needs to improve on and continue to get better. But I know he's excited about that opportunity.
Looking at Sunday's game, we got Connor who can run it, and Kyler Murray, what he can do. How much pressure does that put on your guys to, those skills that they have?
Yeah, I mean, they have, and Chase Edmonds, probably coming back. So, I mean, we're talking about really, really good players. Both the backs are excellent, running the ball and out of the backfield. I think Kyler Murray's reputation speaks for himself. He's about as hard a quarterback as there is to tackle in the league right now. Certainly one of the top guys. And then number 4 comes in there from Purdue, and he's in the backfield doing a lot of stuff. So it's going to be a big challenge, and we got to step up and play. At the end of the day, if you're in the game, you got to play, you got to make the plays. So, and that's where we're rolling.
That safety to linebacker conversion, it seems like there's been more of those, I guess, over the past few years, and a couple of guys have gone the other way, college linebacker and safety. Just how tough is that transition when you get into the league and have to do it?
Yeah, I think it's different for every player. I think the one thing I'd say is the way the game's going, the way it's become such a more of a spread out game. I mean, to me, like, this is my 10th year in the NFL. Like, I just think from in the last 10 years how much, and 10 years prior to that. So, you see yourself wanting to get faster at the position, and the natural way to do that is to go from safety to linebacker. So I think, you've definitely seen some guys have success with that, and Josh has done a good job making that conversion. But I do think the way you see the game is different for everybody. Some people can make it, some people can't, but Josh has done a good job with that.
One of the common solutions we see with these mobile quarterbacks is the deployment of a spy,
Sure.
in those third and long situations. Does that create a deficiency in a defense in maybe the same way that maybe when you're blitzing, it leaves a different hole that you have to kind of find ways to cover up?
Yeah, I think that's probably a really good way to say it, right? I mean, like, whether you blitz, whether you're doubling a receiver, whether you're spying a quarterback, you know what I mean? Whatever the emphasis that you put on that call, the rest of the defense has to make up for it. Like, at the end of the day, if there was a perfect defense that played everything, we call it every time. But at some point, everybody's going to have a hard job on a defense. And part of playing in this league is when the hard job's on you, you got to win. But definitely, that's a really good analogy comparing the spy to the blitz.
And then with all the moving pieces in the secondary right now, more so than anywhere else on the roster, how important is the communication aspect to whoever's wearing the green dot this week?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think, from a linebacker standpoint, we've got to do a great job communicating just like every week and just making sure, hey, everybody knows the call. We get our calls out, and we get them out fast, and we get them out early enough so we have time to assess the formation and roll.